For one thing, of course, the United States and its proxy Kurdish separatist forces are occupying Syrian resources in the northeast, which includes their oil and wheat and barley, which means, of course, that the bulk of Syria is reliant upon Iranian oil to keep any kind of electricity running. At the moment, we have basically about 2 or 3 hours of electricity per day. There is no heating in the majority of homes across Syria. And of course, we happen to have just gone through the real cold spell. Today, for example, there were driving rains and winds, high winds, which is hampering the rescue operation, but also means that the people who are now homeless are in the streets soaking wet and freezing cold without any alternative shelter and without any electricity, without any heating, without any fuel, because of course we don't have any heating fuel either in the country pretty much. So these shortages, combined of course with the Western barbaric sanctions, including the Caesar law that was imposed by the Trump administration, which penalizes any country that even comes to the assistance of Syria. So those countries that can then be sanctioned by default if they come to the aid of Syria, which is, a criminal sanctions regime to impose on any country and quite unprecedented. So with all of these elements, Syria is suffering. I mean, this is devastating for Syria. The areas of Aleppo, Hama, Idlib, Latakia, the coastal areas have been hit the hardest because of they were closest to the epicenter in Turkey. In Aleppo, I think it's something like 89 buildings have collapsed. And we also have to remember that during the war, the terrorists, backed by the West, of course, had dug vast cities of tunnels underneath the residential areas of these cities. So the foundations were already made fragile by the war itself, and then of course by the war itself, the bombing, the aggression from the terrorist groups.